Today we're going to talk about how to get the custom armor that we've developed craftable standalone in game. First thing we got to do is we have to open up our Daedric shortcut where we've saved everything, and we'll also have to round up things like the helmets or the masks that we've created. I've already grabbed my mask from the other folder and put it in my Daedric just to kind of sum things up. You have to go to that mask folder that you saved the mask over for testing. Go ahead and do that and get that file. We have to create somewhere in the game path engine for our custom armor. So the first thing we got to do is go ahead and open up your data shortcut, drag it off to the left. I have my Daedric folder from where I was testing in game open as well. Go over to meshes, armor, and in here, once you get into armor, you just need to create a new folder, and so I'm going to create a new one. Now remember to name your folder something different than what I'm naming mine, something unique to you. Usually I recommend giving it your own name. Like, I already have one that's my own name, so I'll just type in one Nidusy. Alright, so whatever your login name is at the Nexus is usually a good idea to use that for the first folder, so that way no one else is going to use that but you, so you won't have to worry about your armor mod conflicting with other people's armor mods. So go ahead and open that up once you've created that folder, and go ahead and you can create a new folder if you want. You don't have to. I'll create another folder. In fact, no, I won't. I'll just leave it at Armor 1 Nidusy. Alright, this is where I'm going to put my armor. Now I'm going to grab all the armors that I've been testing with from my Daedric folder. And again, like I said, if you've created, you made the mask from the mask tutorial, you'd have to browse that, which I think it's meshes, armor, should be tutorials, some kind of tutorial folder. I forget where I put it. It was CS, yeah, it's in data meshes, CA4S mask, and then you'd want to grab your mask that you created and tested with, and then just drag it over and drop it in here. So now I've got everything in my brand new folder inside the game engine. So I got my boots, my gloves, and my torso, and my mask. If you created a helmet, which I did in that one tutorial, I made that hide helmet, so I'll go ahead and grab that too for the purposes of the tutorial. So I've got, open up my hide folder, I'm going to grab my helmet light that I created in that tutorial, and I'm just going to Control V it over here. So now I've got all of my stuff in this brand new folder inside the game engine. Now, it's probably a good idea, you can close both these windows, they're not important. It's probably a good idea that now you've got your new folder, you might want to name them something different, because Daedric boots, you're not using Daedric boots, so you're going to want to rename everything. So I'll just take the word Daedric off and do that with everything. I'll just rename each of them. You don't have to rename them, but I mean, I do. I always rename stuff. I always just take the first word of whatever I was testing off of it, so it just says boots or gloves or straight torso. So whatever folder I was using for testing, I just removed the first name of it. This does not matter, but you do want to keep the 0, 1 naming structure, because that's going to be very important, like the 0 and 1 and the 0 and 1 here. The reason is because that's how the game engine determines how to register the size, the weight slider. Without it, it's not going to have any clue, which is the 0 and which is the 1. The name has to be the same, and on the end of it has to be a 0 or a 1. Now that I've got them all renamed, I'm ready to go ahead and set these up to be craftable standalone. But there's two other things that we need to do real quick. We need to create the first person torso and the first person gloves. A lot of people say, well, how am I going to do that? That's going to be really complicated. Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select torso F0 and torso F1. You're going to hit Control C on your keyboard, and you're going to hit Control V. Alright? And you're going to take the torso F_0 and you're going to click rename on it and remove the copy on the end, and then in front of it just type first person. Wow, that was so hard. Believe it or not, this works, and it will be the first person arms for my armor. Do the same thing for your torso one that you copy. Just type in first person. Now make sure the name is identical. It has to be the same, but a 0 or a 1 on the end is the only difference between them. So it's first person torso and first person 1. Now same thing for the gloves. I grab both of them, hit Control C, hit Control V. Now on gloves, I just selected, I select rename. I'll delete that little copy on the end, and I'll just type first person. Do same thing with the gloves F1 copy, rename it, delete the copy on the end, and type in first person. So now we have our first person for our gloves, our first person for our torso, the boots, the gloves, the helmet, the mask, and the torso. Now you are going to need ground items, but that's going to be in the next tutorial, because you're going to, well, the next tutorial after I'm done showing you how to make these standalone, because ground items take a little bit of moving around in nifs scope and a little bit of editing in 3ds Max to make them appearable as an in-game item. Like when you open up your crafting thing and you're ready to craft something, when you see the picture of what you're about to craft, that's a world item that you're looking at. Or when you drop the item on the ground and it bounces around and you can kick it and pick it up, that's a world item. I'll show you how to make those. They're really easy to make. I mean, there's no special stuff you have to do, but you got to know how to do it, so I'll show you. Anyways, we can go ahead and move on, and we'll fix that later. We'll add it to the craftable after we're done making them. So go ahead and open up your creation kit, and you're going to go to File, you're going to go to Data, and you're going to check, you want to check Skyrim, and just to save time, scroll down and find your CA4S mass tutorial, and you'll want to check that one too, and then you're just going to select OK. Now it's going to say, you don't have an active file, do you wish to continue? Select yes, because you're going to create your own active file. Give it a minute to load up. You're going to get warning signals. This is natural. Don't worry about that. Just click yes to all whenever they pop up. Now there's 3 parts to armor. The first part is you have to tell the game engine that it exists. The second part is you have to tell the game engine, okay, now you know it exists, what do you do with it? And then the last part says, okay, now you know it exists, you know what to do with it, now how do you get it in game? How does the player get it? So there's 3 parts. Existence is armor add-on. Armor is what do you do with it. Constructible object is how do you get it in game, and that's what we're going to be working with. Alright, so the 3 things you need to focus on is you need to, your list should look like this. Just go down to items, right here, items, and open this up. It might be like that. Just open it up and you'll see armor, armor add-on, and constructible object. Well, we're going to start an armor add-on. Alright, so first thing we want to do is we want to put the armor in the game. But before we do anything else, let's select File, go to Save, little window will pop up. It should be already at your Skyrim data directory, and you want to name it. Again, give it a unique name, not what I'm typing in. You want your mod to not conflict with other people's mods that are following these tutorials. So select something unique. Like I said before, you can use something like your login name for the Skyrim Nexus. No one else is going to use that. It's your login name, so how could they use it? So I'll just type in One Nightasy, and I'll select Save. Alright, so now I go over here to my armor add-on, and the first thing, let's go ahead and add the torso. So I need to find the torso, which should be armor. Should be armor Daedric, or just Daedric. So find your Daedric torso, or really, you could pick any torso. If I was making light armor, I could pick a Hide Cuirass 01AA. It's a torso, If you wanted to, you could find the Daedric torso, which should be under D. It doesn't really, this part doesn't really matter. It just matters that you pick a torso to use, and I cannot find the Daedric. Stupid alphabet. Here we go, Daedric Cuirass, right? So I'm going to double click on that. Now, don't worry about the weapon adjust. You can play around with that if your weapon seems to clip the armor and stuff like that whenever you're swinging it and whatnot. I never change it, ever. So, you should see that the biped object, this is very important. If these were selected to the wrong number, like instead of it being 32 body, I had this set to 52 unnamed. The problem that you'd occur is it wouldn't show up in game. It would not work. And the reason for that is because the BS Dismember Skin modifier, there is a unique BS Dismember Skin modifier for the head, for the hair, for the body, for the hands. Each one of these has their very own BS dismember skin modifier. And without the correct BS dismember skin modifier, it will not appear in game. So these have to be correct. That's why for a torso, we went and we found a torso, and then we're going to use the torso to make our armor craftable in game because it's already got all the settings that we need. Now you got to look in the female, because if you're making a male, you're going to change these settings. Alright, if you're making a female, you're going to change these ones, because this is how it appears in game for the female body, and this would be how it appears in game for the male body. So if a man equipped it, this would be the torso that he had it. So like, let's say you made your armor and you made it for both a man and a woman. You could set it up to where it's craftable and equipable by a man and a woman just by setting this to the man's, and this one to the woman's. Now we have the biped object and we have the first person object. Do not worry about the skin texture or the skin texture swap list. They are not covered in this tutorial, and they are not applicable to this tutorial. So anyways, in the female biped object, go ahead and select this. You'll notice it's set to torso F_1, so it's set to the large body. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to set our unique armor to large body. So in the female section under biped object, I'll click select. It'll give you some warning a lot of times. Just say yes to all. And if another warning ever pops up, just click ignore or retry. Alright. So now we got to set up the model file. Now remember, it's given us the large one, so that's probably the one we want to use. So we're going to select edit, and we're going to go to the desktop. Or I shouldn't have done that. Now I got to find my stupid data folder. So go to your data folder and then go into meshes, and you gotta find your armor. So I put mine in armor and I set it in 1 nifs right here. 1 nifs. Now I find my torso and I go ahead and I select that. But remember, it was the F1, so I want to select the larger version and click OK. Give it a minute, my armor loads up, and I just go ahead and select. What in the heck did I do here? It looks weird. Sometimes this will not show correctly, but it should show correctly in game because there's nothing wrong with it, and then just select OK. For the first person, remember we created a first person. You also want to check it's F_1, so we want to get the _1 for ours. And this time I'm not going to mess this up. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to find my armor first person nifs, and it's the first person torso F_1. So I just set my torso that I created, and I select open, and I select OK. So now I have my first person torso F_1, and I have my torso F_1. So this is the biped, and this is for when people are in first person. Now we need to change the name. Now the thing about the name is you want to leave the AA on the end, and you want to change this to something that's just like your name, but put a 01 in front of everything. Alright, so type in 01, type in, I'll type in nifs because that's my name, and this is the torso, so I'll type in torso to identify it, and then leave the AA. AA stands for armor add-on. The 01 will keep this at the very top of our list, so anytime we go into armor add-ons, all of our armor will be at the very top of the list, okay, because this is alphabetized. So now I have this set up. I'll just go ahead and select OK, and it says, do you want to create a new form? Just select yes. And now you'll notice my armor is 01 nifs torso AA. It's all the way at the very top of my list. So if I selected armor, then I had to come back to armor add-ons. There it is. Alright, I'll see you here in a minute. This video's out of time. Just hang 10 and just move on to the next video. I'll have it here in a sec.